What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about head coach Raheem Morris. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about head coach Raheem Morris of our Atlanta Falcons. Recently, CBS did rank all of the head coaches in the NFL, and Raheem Morris came in at number 27th in the league as far as head coaches. And I do agree with this list that CBS put together as far as Raheem Morris being ranked the 27th best head coach in the NFL because he hasn't really proven that he's a good head coach. I do believe that Raheem Morris is a good defensive mind and a good defensive coordinator. He did help the LA Rams win a Super Bowl. He was a really good defensive backs coach early in his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he was a solid wide receivers coach and defensive coach when he was with the Atlanta Falcons in that first go-round under Dan Quinn. So he's been around the league for over 20 years at this point. And I definitely think that Raheem Morris, as I mentioned, is a solid coordinator, but he still hasn't proven that he's a great or good head coach. Now, do I believe that he has what it takes to be a good or great head coach in his future? I definitely do think that he possesses the skill set to be a really good head coach, but he hasn't proven it to us yet as the fans. He hasn't proven it to the beat writers and things of that nature and guys that are in the NFL that are doing these rankings. So I really feel like this is a huge year for Raheem Morris to get on the winning track and get his career back on track as far as being a good head coach and to change everybody's opinion about him as a head coach. As we know, Raheem Morris did help the LA Rams win a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. We know that he was a head coach early in his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe after John Gruden got fired, and eventually he got fired from that Tampa Bay job early in his career. But I do believe now that he's had the experience and things of that nature, he still has a chance to prove the doubters wrong. If you look at the great head coaches in NFL history, guys like Bill Belichick, he started off as a head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Eventually was fired from that job and then went on to New England to become a really good head coach. If you look at Andy Reid in his first stint as a head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles, he did help them get to, I believe, 3 or 4 NFC championship games, but he couldn't get over the hump and win that Super Bowl. He was fired from Philly, eventually was able to go to the Kansas City Chiefs and build that dynasty with Patrick Mahomes. So usually most coaches fail in their first stops as head coaches. They usually don't win right away. It's rare to see coaches, win in their first stop right away. So I do believe that Raheem Morris could be one of those guys that had a slow start as far as being a head coach early on, but can still have the opportunity to turn things around. And I really feel like I said, this year is a huge year for Raheem Morris. I do believe that he needs to have a winning season, and the Falcons need to make the playoffs for him not to be on the hot seat going into year 3. And last year he showed us some good things, getting the Falcons off to a 6-3 start before things crumbled down the stretch, which there were a couple of clock management issues that we seen from Raheem Morris in last season. We seen some different issues as far as not benching Kirk Cousins, and he even talked about not making the proper adjustments as far as the coaching staff and things of that nature earlier on in the season, and that it took him too long to make adjustments. So hopefully he's learned, from those mistakes that he made last year. Good head coaches and good coaches in general learn from their mistakes and they make the proper adjustments. So we're going to see this year in the 2025 season if Raheem Morris learned the error of his ways from last season as far as the clock management, as far as having his pulse on the team and knowing when to, make those proper adjustments, both on the offense and the defensive side of things. Because we know as a head coach, you're responsible for the ship. You're responsible for the franchise, not only the defensive side of the ball, not only the offense, but the special teams. You're responsible for everything. You're like the CEO of the actual team and the captain of the ship. So I definitely think with Raheem Morris, he is one of those player coaches where a lot of players rave about him. He's one of the reasons why Leonard Floyd decided to sign with the Atlanta Falcons, because he was with the LA Rams on that defensive team that he helped lead to the Super Bowl as that defensive coordinator. We've heard guys like Jalen Ramsey rave about the coach Raheem Morris, and him being a player's coach and a guy that he learned a lot from when he was there in LA. So I definitely think, like I said, Raheem Morris has what it takes. But this is going to be a huge year for him to go in and change the doubters' minds and prove himself right. It's not really about proving anybody wrong and proving your doubters wrong. It's about proving yourself right, and him taking the bull by the horns and him taking accountability and leading this franchise to where it needs to be. Now, one thing that I did like, and I've mentioned this prior to Raheem Morris getting hired, is that Raheem Morris was a part of that team that lost that 28-3 lead against the Patriots. So both him and now Jeff Ulbrich, who's back with our team on the defensive side of the ball, they have the scars from that 28-3. They can take that personally. We brought in guys like Arthur Smith, who wasn't here during that 28-3 loss. So it would be a great redemption story if Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich can lead this Falcons team back to a Super Bowl and basically change the doubters and everybody's mind about the Falcons being choke artists and things of that nature. If they're able to get back to an NFC championship game, back into the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, I really feel like that'll be one of the best redemption stories as far as a franchise on the NFL, ranks and things of that nature. I think that would be a great comeback story if the Falcons are able to get back to that big game because they were there, when we lost that big lead. I think that could be huge. Not only for Raheem Morris, but huge for the Atlanta Falcons organization as a whole, if he's able to get us back there and win that trophy. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Raheem Morris. Do you believe that Raheem Morris can turn things around? And what would you rank Raheem Morris? Like I said, I pretty much agree with the list because he hasn't proven anything. So for him to come in at the bottom tier as far as the head coaches go at 27th, I mean, you have to agree with the list because he hasn't done anything to prove anybody wrong or to be rated higher on the list. So with that being said, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.